Alrighty, guys. Good afternoon to you all here. It is May 27th, 2025 here on this lovely Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And this will be my second to last video for you guys here before we go on vacation. We'll have one more video tomorrow morning before we leave. And then we will be gone until Tuesday of next week. So make sure y'all are enjoying these next couple of days here that we've got to talk to y'all before me and Ro end up going out for a little bit. You guys make sure as well, you guys follow Connor's Climate Corner here on TikTok and on YouTube as always to give you all the latest updates on anything that does happen. We are watching the trend potentially for maybe some type of tropical system going into the first and second week of June. Not a lot to talk about on that right now. I'll kind of mention it briefly at the end of the video and some things along with that there. We are watching our first tropical storm in the Pacific Ocean. No impacts to the United States impacted with that, which will be good news. That'll be more than likely a fish storm. We get those a lot this time of the year, especially over in the Pacific Ocean. We'll talk about that as well. And then we've also got the return here still for severe weather today, tomorrow, really for the next 3 to 4 days here, but very low in severe weather days, low to medium days here across the southeast and southern plains. So we're going to dive into all that here in this video, talk about what's going to be happening over the next couple days, get you guys ready to go. We have a pretty big major pattern change as well that's going to be coming as we go into the end of this week as well. We'll talk about that as well. So if you guys can see on your screen, a pretty quiet start here across the western central plains here. We got showers and thunderstorms here, a pretty significant severe complex of storms that was going through this morning across Louisiana, Mississippi, now into Alabama and getting ready to cross into Georgia. We've got some scattered rain showers up here into the northeast and some scattered showers up into the portions of the high plains and upper Midwest. So we'll be watching for those storms to continue to move their way east and north as the afternoon and evening progresses here. We will see some storms respark behind this here later on this afternoon and back into Texas, and we'll kind of dive into all that here through the Storm Prediction Center outlook. And I'll go ahead and start out here with that for you guys today. This is the day one SPC outlook as of right now. We do have a marginal risk that goes from southern Wyoming back through Colorado into Texas and into eastern portions of New Mexico and down into Texas with a level 2 slight risk on top of that as well for west central Texas there, and then a marginal to slight risk for the southeast here for portions of eastern Louisiana, back into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and into Georgia, where all modes of severe weather will also be possible, as well as a level 2 slight risk as well. Both the hazards today are going to be, the main threats are really going to be wind and hail. You can see that wind threat today, 15 and 5% for both areas there, winds exceeding 60 to 70 miles per hour. Hail threat's going to be 5% in the southeast for hail up to 1 to 2 inches in diameter, and then a 5% to 15 hatched risk back down into southwest Texas here. We could see hail exceed 2 inches in diameter. Once again, we had some huge hail out there yesterday across Texas, and a couple tornadoes that were also observed out there as well in central Texas yesterday. So just be mindful if you are and about in these areas. Again, we'll be seeing the threat for all modes of severe weather once again. Tornado risk on the low side today, 2% regions today. We've got a small 2% back down here into Texas, and then another 2% back into the southeast. Do remind yourselves, guys, these are, they seem small probabilities, but they can still allow for tornadoes to happen. We actually have it happen a lot in 2% tornado risk that we see these actually verify at terms. So just be mindful of that if you're going through today and this afternoon. Have a way to get alerts on your phones, know where to go when you get warnings, all of that, etc. I talk about that every single day, but I just like to reiterate that to you guys. We get to tomorrow for your Wednesday here. We do have a level 2 slight risk at play here for New Mexico and West Texas, and a huge marginal risk back down here into the southeast. Most of this is going to be wind and hail driven. We're not really looking at too big of a tornado risk, and actually that tornado risk is consolidated to the New Mexico and Texas line. 2% chance of seeing a tornado within a 25-mile radius of a given location back down in those areas, but the main threats are going to be wind and hail, 15 and 5% at play for tomorrow. Both areas 15 and 5% here that are slight and marginal. Could see winds could be anywhere from 60 to 70 miles per hour, and hail could be 1 to 2 inches in diameter for all risk zones tomorrow. So be mindful of that again tomorrow. And then we get into the day 3 outlook, and things start to downtrend very significantly. Another marginal risk on Thursday back here into the farthest northern four corners here and into the western Texas region, and then another marginal risk along the southeast as we still continue to see this system continue to progress eastward very, very slow. We'll have a little bit of shear still in place, allowing for convection to initiate in terms of damaging wind and hail potential. And then we get a day 4 outlook, which is a little bit interesting here. I'm going to have to watch this as well because we're going to be over here in vacation area with this potentially on Friday here. But nevertheless, here a level 2 risk out of 5 for severe weather back into Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. If you're from Raleigh down through Charlotte into Columbia, down towards Charleston, Savannah, Georgia, outside east of Atlanta here. Just be mindful. All modes of severe weather will be possible on Friday. Make sure y'all stay up to date with Connor. He'll be posting and talking about this as this continues to get closer here on your Friday. But other than that, a pretty quiet weekend here for majority of the United States. And the reason why that's going to happen, we'll get to that here in just a second, is going to be a different type of weather pattern that's going to be coming in. We're going to be looking at some significant below average temperatures that are going to be at play for the southeast, the Ohio Valley, and the northeast and mid-Atlantic going through the end of this weekend into next week. I do want to go ahead and just talk briefly about what we're going to see today and tomorrow here for the future radar here. And you can see showers and storms firing off again this afternoon. We're going to have 2 areas to watch. Showers and storms along the southeast back here into that slight risk and marginal risk zone. Damaging winds are going to be the main threat for that. The same applies here to southwest Texas. Damaging winds and large hail will also be a factor for this evening. Storms initiating right around 3-4 o'clock this afternoon in both regions there. And then as the evening progresses, we could see a little complex of storms work through the overnight hours into southern Texas before fizzling out. Same applies over to the southeast. Those storms will progress into Georgia and into South Carolina and Alabama later on this evening, bringing the lower end threat for severe weather. And then we get to tomorrow, and once again, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather out there. Just not expecting a lot other than really just general thunderstorms, some wind, some rain, and maybe even some hail embedded out there with some of those storms. So not a lot going on really the next 48 to 72 hours other than the wind and the hail threat and an occasional isolated tornado threat. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about one thing here, and this is something we'll start to talk about a lot. This is the National Hurricane Center. This is their probabilities of seeing, tropical storms developing in areas. When they highlight these regions, we typically start to watch for tropical storm developments. Clearly, right now, we don't have anything expected in the United States. That may change as we go towards this first and second week of June, and we'll start to talk more about that once we get back from vacation next week. We do have a 90% chance of a tropical cyclone developing here in the next 2 days here off the coast of Mexico, and this is more than likely going to become our first named storm in the Pacific Ocean this year. This is more than likely also going to stay well out to sea, not expecting anything to make landfall in the United States anywhere near Mexico. This should stay well out to sea here, at least is what the models are indicating. So if you're vacationing in Mexico, don't cause no cause for alarms here. Just be mindful if you are out in those areas there. You watch my videos. Just be mindful that there will be the chance for a tropical storm, maybe even our first hurricane of the year with that system there. And here's just kind of an overall satellite view of what we're seeing here. This is where our complex of showers and storms are developing. We don't really have anything defined quite yet. You can start to kind of see that counterclockwise spin here northwest here, starting to maybe start to see something come together through the next couple of hours here, maybe even by later on this evening. We might have a low already potentially in progress here. I think we already do actually have an invest in progress here with this. So I'll talk more about that if we do a live stream later on this evening. By the way, guys, we probably will have one more live stream later on tonight. I'll probably get one more update out to you guys before we leave for vacation tomorrow afternoon. So just be mindful of that there if you're out in those areas here. As expected as well, we're not seeing any chances of development in and around the Atlantic Ocean right now, or the Caribbean or the Gulf. Things are quiet for the next 7 days. That might start to change once we get past that 7-day period. I'm going to talk about why here in just a second. Here is the overall look at what we're going to see here with our rain across the United States here. I'll talk about the jet stream here in just a second. But showers and storms expected in a wide area here, really for the next 5 to 7 days. You can see showers and storms, some severe weather accompanied with that. But then we're going to see this trough come in on Friday and Saturday. And this is going to kick this little severe system out across the East Coast there. And then by Saturday and Sunday, we should be pretty dry across the United States here. Maybe some general showers and thunderstorms up and around here into the Ohio Valley, the Northeast region. Maybe even getting some pretty significant rainfall up into the Northeast going into Saturday and Sunday here. But I want you guys to notice high pressure is going to dominate for majority of the weekend here. And then we should start to see the return here for some severe weather back into the plains early next week. But then as things start to change, I mentioned watching the tropics, right? I want you guys to understand something. When we look at tropical type systems going into hurricane season here, we typically really watch and pay attention to things 5 to 7 days, in the viewing area within a week. Anything that pops up on a model run, the GFS, the Euro, the Icon, any of these model runs that you guys see, or if you watch model runs or if you see people post model runs, this is where you've got to be really skeptical on things and really just careful with what you guys see in the realm of the weather world. There's going to be a lot of people out there that start to post videos and post of these long model runs over 2 weeks out there saying, oh, like a hurricane's coming to the United States, we all need to panic. Guys, don't buy into that crap. People do that for fear mongering. People do that for views. Not worth doing all that. We are going to have to watch potentially the signal for something trying to develop going into the first and a half and second week of June. Some of the models here, the GFS being one of them, and I'm just going to show you guys this. Take this with a grain of salt, please. The end of the GFS run, the GFS is known for doing this. It shows, a major hurricane potentially coming into the Gulf, June 9th. Guys, this is over 14 plus days out. Take this with a grain of salt. We are more than likely not going to see this type of a situation quite yet here. If we start to see this trend going into, next week and beyond that point, then we'll start to watch it. We'll start to get concerned. Right now, this is no cause for panic. We're not even seeing anything highlighted by the National Hurricane Center. We'll keep an update on this, but I want you guys to be very careful of this because people are going to see this and people are going to post this and they're going to try and grab people's attention and scare people and say, oh, there's a hurricane coming to Texas or to Mexico. So we're going to watch it. We'll keep you guys updated. If anything changes, if anything gets highlighted, we'll start to talk about it. But right now, the GFS model is really the only thing that's showing the signal for even something along the lines of a tropical-like system. We'll have to wait for our ensembles to kind of start to pick up on something. I think the GFS ensembles are starting to pick up on something slightly, but not anything near what the dermatistic GFS model is actually showing here. So I wanted to show you guys this. Don't buy into this crap down here. Well over 200 plus to 300 plus hours out. Take that with a grain of salt. People are going to, like I said, post it and scare you. Don't listen to that crap. If you don't hear it from me, don't listen to it unless it's from your local meteorologist or anybody that is degreed. So just be mindful of that. Now, briefly here, I want to talk about our jet stream just before we kind of wrap things up here. Like I said, things are going to be a little bit different going into the weekend here. We're going to see this upper level disturbance that's going to come down out of Canada, and this is going to bring some very cool temperatures. We're going to see temps in the 50s, the 60s, and 40s overnight for a lot of people down in the southeast, the Ohio River Valley, going through about Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday here. And that's going to exit by about Monday and Tuesday of early next week. And then we're going to start to see a couple of disturbances that we need to watch here. We could really ramp severe weather right back up here going into next Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to have a negatively tilted shortwave trough coming in here, potentially across the plains early next week, and then another huge bowling ball trough. And I want to mention, guys, it's not very often that we see these big bowling ball troughs that still continue to persist into the month of June. Typically, you start to see ridging. Not that it's not impossible to see significant severe weather in the month of June. We all know it can happen, but typically this time of the year we start to see that. And right now we're not seeing that. We're continuing to see the persistent troughing with potential severe weather going into next week. So we're really going to have to watch this. What this typically favors is significant severe weather up into the high plains. So you're talking the Midwest, the high plains, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. Might be your guys' time to shine as we go towards, Thursday. Go figure, it would be on my birthday. But anyways, as we go towards the next week period. So once we get back from vacation next week, we're going to take a deep dive into this. We'll keep you guys updated. If I have to post any videos while I'm on vacation, it'll be very, very quick videos. They won't be in weather format because I won't have my computer or anything with me. I'll have one more video out for you guys tomorrow, possibly even a live stream tonight if we need to get one in, just to discuss some things as a whole. Other than that, guys, be safe, be weather aware. Make sure you guys keep up with Connor while I'm gone on vacation, and we will see you guys in the next one. Be safe, guys.